Welcome back to Auto 786 channel, the 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty pickup truck. And trust me, if you're into towing, hauling work-ready power, or you just love big trucks that look like they mean business, you're going to want to watch this all the way through. Now, the Ford Super Duty lineup has always been a monster in the heavy-duty segment, and the F-250 is kind of that sweet spot. It's not the biggest in the family, like the F-350 or F-450, but it still brings ridiculous strength, real-world usability, and a ton of modern tech that makes it feel more like a luxury truck than a work machine. And for 2026, Ford keeps pushing the Super Duty formula forward with refinements in design, capability, comfort, and towing confidence. Let's start with the first impression, because the 2026 F-250 Super Duty still looks like a truck that could pull a house off its foundation. It's bold, square, aggressive, and unapologetically massive. The grille is still huge, and depending on which trim you choose, it can come with different finishes like chrome, blacked-out accents, or body-colored pieces that make it look cleaner and more premium. One of the things Ford does really well is giving the Super Duty a commanding stance without making it look awkward. The hood sits high, the fenders are muscular, and the truck's proportions scream strength. And if you step up to trims like the Lariat, King Ranch, Platinum, or Limited, the styling becomes more upscale with better lighting elements, premium wheels, and a more refined overall presence. The LED lighting is sharp, modern, and functional, and yes, Ford still gives you those signature running lights that make it recognizable from a mile away. And the tailgate area remains one of the most practical setups in the class,
with multiple step options, camera views,
and a bed that's designed for people who actually use their truck for work. Now, speaking of the bed, the 2026 250 continues to offer a variety of bed and cab configurations. You can go regular cab, super cab, or crew cab. You can pick a standard bed or long bed depending on your needs. And that's important because the F-250 isn't a one-size-fits-all truck. It's basically a build-your-own heavy-duty machine. Let's talk engines, because that's why people buy the Super Duty in the first place. Ford continues to offer multiple powertrain options, and they're all designed around one thing: capability. The base engine is still a gas V8, which is great for buyers who want a tough work truck without the added cost of diesel maintenance. It's strong, reliable, and does the job for daily hauling, job site work, and moderate towing. But if you want more power and torque, Ford offers a bigger gas V8 option too, which is perfect for people who want more grunt but still prefer gas. And then we get to the star of the show, the Power Stroke Turbo Diesel. This is the engine that heavy-duty fans love. Massive torque, effortless towing, and the kind of pulling power that makes you feel like nothing is behind you, even when you're towing something huge. Ford also pairs these engines with a heavy-duty transmission designed to handle towing stress, steep grades, and long-haul durability. The shifting is smooth, the gearing is smart, and when you're towing heavy, it holds gears confidently without hunting around. Now let's talk towing and payload, because that's where the F-250 really earns its reputation. The 2026 F-250 Super Duty is built on a high-strength steel frame, and Ford engineers this thing with serious real-world capability in mind. Depending on how you configure it, the towing capacity can reach well into the tens of thousands of pounds. That means travel trailers, fifth wheels, equipment trailers, boats, you name it. The F-250 can handle it. Payload is also impressive. If you've ever loaded a bed full of construction materials, tools, generators, or even farm equipment, you know, payload matters just as much as towing. The F-250 gives you the ability to haul heavy loads without feeling unstable, and the suspension is tuned to stay planted even under stress. And here's something Ford really nails: towing technology. The 2026 F-250 isn't just strong, it's smart. You get trailer sway control, integrated trailer brake controller, multiple camera views, and available trailer reverse guidance. So even if you're not a towing expert, the truck helps you look like one. One of the best features is the available 360-degree camera system, which makes parking and maneuvering a massive truck way easier than it has any right to be. You can also get advanced trailer camera options so you can see what's happening behind the trailer, which is a lifesaver on the highway. Now let's move inside, because the interior of the 2026 F-250 is honestly one of the biggest reasons people choose Ford over the competition. Ford has taken the Super Duty cabin and made it feel like a real modern vehicle. not just a work truck with plastic everywhere. The materials depend heavily on trim. If you go with an XL or XLT, it's more basic and built for durability, easy to clean surfaces, simple controls, and a tough feel. But if you step up into Lariat and above, the F-250 becomes a luxury truck. We're talking leather seating, wood or metal trim accents, massive screens, premium sound systems, and comfort features that make long trips easy. The seating is wide, supportive, and designed for big drivers. And in crew cab form, the rear seat space is huge. You can comfortably fit adults back there without anyone feeling cramped. It's basically a rolling living room, especially in higher trims. Now tech-wise, Ford continues to offer one of the best infotainment setups in the segment. The center touchscreen is large, responsive, and packed with features. You get Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, navigation on higher trims, and a digital gauge cluster available depending on model. And Ford also keeps improving voice commands and connectivity, which matters more than ever now. You can control navigation, calls, music, and even some vehicle settings without taking your hands off the wheel. Another thing I really like is how Ford designs the Super Duty's interior storage. There are massive cup holders, large door bins, center console storage, and enough space for work gear, laptops, tablets, and tools. It's made for people who actually live out of their truck. Now let's talk ride quality, because this is where people get surprised. Heavy-duty trucks aren't supposed to ride well, but the 2026 F-250 is actually pretty smooth for what it is. It still feels like a heavy-duty truck, yes, but Ford tunes it so it doesn't feel punishing. The steering is stable, the truck feels planted, and on the highway it feels confident and solid. Of course, if you're driving it unloaded, you will still feel that stiff rear suspension. That's normal for a truck designed to carry and tow heavy loads. But once you put weight in the bed or hook up a trailer, it settles down nicely. And for 2026, Ford continues to offer advanced driver assistance features, which is a big deal because these trucks are huge. Depending on trim and options, you can get blind spot monitoring with trailer coverage, adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, forward collision warning, and automatic emergency braking. And honestly, these safety systems aren't just gimmicks in a truck like this. They make daily driving less stressful, especially if you're using the F-250 as a family vehicle. Now let's get to what most people are really wondering, the price. The 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty price in the United States depends heavily on trim, engine, drivetrain, and options. And Ford gives you a lot of ways to configure this truck. The starting price for the 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty typically begins around $47,000 to $50,000 USD for a base XL trim with standard equipment. If you move up to the XLT, you're usually looking at around $53,000 to $58,000 USD, depending on configuration. The Lariat trim generally lands around $65,000 to $72,000 USD, especially if you start adding premium packages. Now, when you get into the luxury trims like King Ranch and Platinum, prices can climb into the $78,000 to $90,000 USD range. And if you go all the way to the limited trim, fully loaded with the diesel engine and every option, you can easily see pricing around $95,000 to $105,000 USD. And yes, once you add things like the Power Stroke Diesel, RAV4, towing packages, off-road packages, premium interiors, and technology upgrades, the final price can rise fast. But that's the heavy-duty truck world. Capability isn't cheap, especially when you want it wrapped in comfort. Now the big question, is the 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty worth it? If you're someone who genuinely needs towing and payload capability, like contractors, farmers, RV owners, or anyone hauling equipment, then yes, the F-250 is absolutely worth considering. It's strong, reliable, and backed by one of the best heavy-duty reputations in the market. But even if you don't tow every day, the F-250 has become one of those trucks people buy because they want the confidence in the durability. It's built like a tank, and it's designed to last. And with the comfort and tech Ford offers now, it doesn't feel like you're sacrificing daily drivability. In my opinion, the 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty continues to be one of the best all-around heavy-duty trucks you can buy. It delivers power, capability, comfort, and tech, and it still has that classic Super Duty toughness that people love. Alright guys, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the 2026 Ford F-250 Super Duty pickup truck, make sure you hit that like button. Share this video with a truck lover, And don't forget to subscribe to Auto 786 for more truck reviews, car updates, and the latest automotive news. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you choose the gas, V8, or the Power Stroke diesel? And what trim would you go for? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.